So I got Kenny at the shop. Just got done doing a thorough wash job and steam clean. Got the shop cleaned out, ready to bring it in to put on the new turbo with the awesome American flag housing. So I'll be taking off the center section of this one, the compressor housing, and just putting the new one right up to this switchblade exhaust housing. And then in the morning, I'm headed to Idaho Falls to get something else. Anybody want to guess? Apologize for the truck video today with no sound. Apparently when you try to do a multi-part video and the phone goes to sleep, you lose your sound. It would have been a cool video too. You would have loved it. Hey, I'm at Holst Truck Parts today getting 18 speed for Kenny. They've been showing me the place. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I cannot believe how much stuff is here. Okay, this is RTLO 2091, or what do they call it? A 209 18B. So it's a 2,000 foot-pound torque transmission. And we're gonna have to paint that cat yellow, I think, don't you? And we're going to be putting Dello synthetic transmission oil. It's a heavy-duty SA50 in it. That's their gear shop over there. You're going to get to see a lot more stuff in a YouTube video. You're going to get to see what they do. But I know where I'm coming for all my parts for old Kenny. These guys have got everything, and I mean everything. It's called Holst Truck Parts. They're in Yukon, Idaho. That's just above Idaho Falls, Idaho. Okay, how in the world am I going to get that bad boy under there and installed in the truck? How many friends do I have? How many of you, I know you friend me on Facebook, but how many friends do I really have? How many of you want to buy an airline ticket and come on out and put this tranny in for me? See, Kenny's got its sad face on. Look at that sad face. Asking if anybody's going to come and help fix me. Oh. Hey, what I'd really like to know is if there's anybody out there that drove this truck. This was a Robinson truck. It's a R270 on the bumper. You can still see it. If you drove this truck, let me know. Hey, I know what. I'll bet this Cat 336 would pick that truck up and we could get that tranny under there. Everything's better with a cat yellow bonnet on it. Remember that old jingle? Well, anyway, I've just increased the value of this Predator welder by 200% by painting it cat yellow. I love this. This is going to look good. I'm glad I did this. But what's even going to be better is when I start to put some decals on it. Everybody's going to think Cat makes a welder. This is going to look good on the service truck. You know what? I just had an idea. What would that look like with cat urethane paint on it? I'm betting money you could get another 1,000,000 miles out of it with just that yellow paint. There. Now I've just increased the resale value another 50%. This is the latest and greatest turbo technology. This is called a Super Core. I got this from Blaylock Turbochargers. This is an 80 millimeter compressor wheel. It is made from solid billet on a 5-axis CNC. It has extended tip technology here. And this is going to be a lighter wheel to spool up faster. And then this groove inside is called a map bandwidth enhancer. And what it does is it widens your bandwidth. So when you reach the point of instability in here, the air goes down through here, comes back up through here and back through. This housing is a little bit smaller than my other one also, and it has the clamp on end instead of the Caterpillar O-ring setup. It's still going to be a switchblade, but it's going to be a Supercore switchblade. So all I had to do was buy the center section, and we're going to put it in here. All right, we got the driveline out, but she's going to have to get retubed. I don't know if you can see this, a huge dent in the driveline, so I'm sure it's crooked. This is the original factory driveline, looks to me like. We figured out how to get the tranny out without removing the fuel tank. We took the air tanks off back here, and we'll bring it out the back. So we've removed both of them to give us plenty of room. I got the oil drained out of the transmission, and the radiator's still taking a leak. Kind of looks like somebody else I know. So the bottom of a 10-speed's a little different than anything else. It's got this housing that hangs down with the internal cooler in it. So we're going to have to build us some kind of device to fit in here to lift this down. And I've clear coated the turbo housing. We have success. Okay, I don't want you laughing at my transmission jack invention. But it worked, and it worked ideal. It came out of there so easy. We got really lucky and got the angles right. The only thing we had to do was remove the shift tower to get it out from under the frame. So we're out. And now we know why we don't have a clutch brake. There's no lining on one side. Okay, this 18-speed has two fittings coming out of it. I assume that's for a pump. But I need to know what to do for a cooler. Those of you with a cooler and an 18-speed and a pump, where are you putting the cooler? In front of the radiator or down underneath, like here under the bumper or something? Oh, check this out too. Okay, this is a flywheel out of a C15 Cat with a retarder. So you'll notice there's no starter teeth. So I'm going to show you how that works when I get the retarder apart. But I wanted to show you this. The pilot bearing is froze up completely. So we weren't a moment too soon doing this. And then this is the input shaft. It ruined it. It's been spinning inside that bearing. It's toast. This is the tranny cooler on this 10-speed. This is an FRO 182 10C. It's integral inside the transmission. Okay, this is the clutch. This was shot too. See, there's hardly nothing left of the disc pads. So that's a good thing we tore it down. I'm betting this is the first time this has been apart in 625,000 miles. So it's a lovely Saturday morning. I'm out here working on the truck, but I come out, and apparently she had an accident last night. Wet the bed. I'm really disappointed in you. Can't you just hold that till I get out here in the shop so I can take care of it? All you got to do is just wait till 7 o'clock. Went up to Holt's Truck Parts yesterday, and they ground my flywheel for me right there while I waited. Probably only took them about 30 minutes, so thank you guys. And while I was there, I picked up a brand new clutch. This is a Cat brake saver retarder, tore apart on the floor. You'll get to see that put back together today if UPS next day air shows up with my parts. Unbelievable. I can't believe that. Okay, I want to show you how a C15 engine with a retarder on it works. I may have to do this in a couple of videos. This is the rear flywheel housing. Looks just like the one on your Cat truck, only it's a little different. Okay, so what we got here is, here's the hydrodynamic seal for the crank. We're going to change that. I think it's leaking a little. It's kind of shiny here. So the starter gear goes here, and then the retarder goes in, and I'll go show you that. This is the retarder valve right here, and these are the two big lines that come out and feed the retarder. Okay, this is the starter gear, and that's the one that's going to go bolt to the back of the crank. This is the rotor. This is the retarder rotor right here. This is going to go inside here, and then this is the cover that's going to go over it. All right, this is the rotor we're going to put in. You can see right here where my finger is. That's where the piston seal rings and another hydrodynamic seal. Okay, this is the rotor in the housing. How this works is the oil comes in, it comes through here, it runs around these veins, and it gets sheared. It creates a tunnel effect with an air pocket in the middle. The oil spins, comes around here, goes out this hole, and comes out this one back into the engine oil. Okay, this is the cover installed on it. And then next goes the starter ring gear. Okay, that's the assembly right there. Now, if you remember before, this is all gonna it's gonna have some bolts that retain it here to the rotor. So this whole assembly has got to be lifted up and put inside the flywheel housing. Then your flywheel will be inside too. This is the piston ring seal that goes on the rotor inside the retarder housing. And once you get it in the groove, you just hook it together like that. Now this seals the high pressure inside the rotor from going against the seal. This is the rear seal in a Cat truck engine. This is called a hydrodynamic seal. And this is a one-piece seal. You don't ever take this apart. You don't put lubrication on it, and you don't put sealant on it, but you got to have special tools to put this in. These are the old seals out of the rotor. There's a wear sleeve and then the seal. They're not quite like a hydrodynamic, but they will come one piece, and you do have to assemble them as one piece. And in order to get them out, you take a chisel and bang them a few times. It stretches them, and then they'll fall right off the rotor. Hey, tip of the day, when painting upside down, drop the can on the floor, bending the nozzle just before it breaks off and sprays you with paint. Then, as you get ready to paint upside down, it's at the perfect angle. Woo! Look at that. Cat yellow. This painting tip brought to you by All Thumbs Incorporated. Have a nice day. Got my new 18-speed from Hulse Truck Parts in Yukon, Idaho. I'll paint it up pretty cat yellow. Jpaydirt, diesel power. Hey, I'd have this bad boy in today, but the seals for my retarder left Spokane, and they're apparently on a UPS airplane in Kentucky, in Louisville. Somebody in Louisville, tell me what's going on there. Apparently there was a bad lightning storm or something, so I don't know when I'm going to get my seals. It's probably going to be Monday. They'll have to go to Salt Lake, then they'll have to come up to Pocatello by truck, then on a delivery truck to Blackfoot. So it's possibly going to be Monday before I can start putting this in. Doing a little AC work today, pulling some vacuum. Just replaced the AC compressor. And we're pulling 28 inches of vacuum along with the expansion valve. And here sits the retarder still. UPS says I'll have my seals by 1:30 tomorrow, which is not early enough. So if there's anybody that works for UPS, please tell me if I could go to Pocatello and intercept those parts before they go out for delivery tomorrow. Because if I don't get those retarder parts, I'm not going to be down the truck show on time. I have to leave Thursday morning to get down there. So maybe I'll just roll under the truck and take a nap. UPS came through. This showed up about just a little before 8, at their sorting facility in Pocatello, but they won't let you come in till 10:30 because they're working the freight. So they don't want people inside standing there going, I'm looking for my parcel. So while I'm waiting for the cat technician to come, Charlie from Western States, to put the seals in, I did a little swamping, mate. I cleaned out the flywheel housing for you. So Jake's got all the retarder piping cleaned up, ready to go on. I've put a new receiver dryer on for the AC, and she's holding vacuum, so gonna be able to charge it. And this is a Northern transmission cooler we've got. Okay, I got her in. That's the retarder. I signed it. Jpaydirt 818. Curtis Keith Moore wanted to know if I couldn't just go rent the tools and do it myself. Yes, I could have. But I have not ever installed these into a retarder. And there was a trick to it that Charlie showed me. Had I tried to do it myself, I'd have screwed it up, not knowing that trick. So sometimes it pays to get a professional. I don't know everything. You guys teach me a lot. I always have people telling me stuff. I learned something today. So it was worth that $150 an hour. Anyway, so she's in. Next step is to get the transmission up in here. And yes, I will make it to the truck show. But before I can put the transmission in, I've got to put the flywheel and the clutch on. Can't forget that. Okay, is this how you do this? You just put the clutch in there and bolt it in, and then what else I don't know what this is for. Do you put that in there like that? Because it goes in really easy and then comes back out. I don't know what it lines up with the cogs and everything. Is this a clutch dough? A dill clutch-o? I don't know what it is. Somebody tell me what the heck this is. I just put that clutch in there all by myself. This old skinny bastard just put that clutch in there all by himself. Oh, it was the dumbest thing you've ever seen. Wait till you see the YouTube video. Got some hats and calendars going in the cat mailbox this morning to Amy, Bernie, and Matt, and I've thrown in some decals for you, so enjoy. United States Postal Service, powered by the Caterpillar mailbox. All right, we got the transmission in, and everybody was telling me I needed some grease fittings. So there they are. And there's my dongle. And there's the cooler hanging back there. I want to go home. Tranny's in, completed, driveline's in, cooler's on. Yeah, I don't like that either, but I gotta be to a truck show, so it is what it is, till we find a better place to put it. Rebuilt the oil filter housing, it was leaking, gave it a good paint job, and a cat and a Jpaydirt diesel power sticker. John Lindquist told me to charge my AC system with dry nitrogen, so I did. I have no leaks in my system, but what I have discovered is this valve leaks under here when you open it up. I bought these cheap gauges from O'Reilly's. They're garbage, so I need to buy some better ones. Any recommendations? So it's time to dump some oil in her. And we lack one hose fitting for the trans cooler to finish it. We'll do that in the morning. And she'll be out of the shop tomorrow. You'll get to see that. So I haven't been able to get a video up to YouTube loaded because I finally got done with the BLM job, and then I got this truck show that I got invited to, so I had to get Kenny done. Had a lot of stuff to get done. I'm going to be down at the truck show with Jim Blaylock showing the Switchblade. If you want to see what I'm up to, you need to go to my Instagram or my Facebook. I have two Facebook pages, Jeff Anderson and Jpaydirt. Doesn't matter which one you subscribe to, you'll see everything on either one of those Facebook pages, or you can see all of it on Instagram. So if you want to see what I'm up to during the week when I'm not making a YouTube video, go on over to Facebook. If you don't like Facebook, use your wife's account, whatever. You can make an account. Don't put your picture on there. Don't put any information. Don't post anything. Make it private. Then you can just watch and see what I'm up to. But I've got the transmission all in. Drive line's on. We're all good there. Fleet Pride up in Idaho Falls. I want to thank Mike for getting that done for me quick like. Mike is a good guy. Young guy, energetic, knows drive lines like the back of his hand, smart kid. So thanks, Mike. The other thing I had to do was my AC compressor was leaking out my front seal really bad. So I changed that, and it was also spewing freon out the expansion valve, so I had to replace that. But I've had trouble getting vacuum, and one of the reasons I found out why is my gauges. I bought some cheap gauges at O'Reilly's a couple years back, and they worked good for a while, but I couldn't hold any vacuum. So John Lindstrom, Farmer John back in Illinois, told me that what I needed to do was just charge it with some nitrogen. I call it dry nitrogen. Nitrogen has no moisture in it, no oxygen. So I charged it with that up to 110 psi, and I soaked all the fittings, couldn't find any leaks. So I got fiddling around, and while I had the dry nitrogen to it, I noticed I'm spewing it under this valve. And the only way I could stop it from spewing was turn it off. But when I open it all the way up, it should seat up in here so that it can't come out the stem. Well, it doesn't seat. And so if I shut the high pressure side off when I vacuum it, I can hold vacuum. So I need a new set of gauges, and then I can get it charged. So I'm out here tonight. It's about 10 o'clock at night now. Tomorrow I've got to go get one more hose fitting down at my cat dealer, build one more hose for the tranny cooler, charge the AC, put the deck back on here. I have an aluminum cover that goes over the frame rails. And let's see, I need to fix my CB radio. It's on the fritz. So if you're in the area or whatever, stop by. I think they're going to put me out in the parking lot. Stop on by.